Hello everyone, I'm Miles. I'm very glad to have the opportunity today to introduce to you a very important fundamental concept in modern finance, WCC, which stands for Weighted Average Cost of Capital. As we all know, capital, whether it's equity or debt, always comes with a cost. It's never free, whether for startups or for large, established companies. So what exactly is it? Let's take a look together. As usual, let's understand this through the last question. All right, let's see. If the company is financed with 50% equity and 50% debt, the cost of capital means cost of equity is 12% and cost of debt is 6%. So how do we arrive at these numbers? Don't rush. Everyone, these numbers are already given to you as specified by the exercise. Now, let's understand this by solving the problem, the weighted average method. So based on this, let's calculate the result. The formula has already been listed for you. We have 50% equity. So what is the cost of equity? It's 12%. For debt, it's also 50%, and the cost of debt is 0.06, but we multiply by 0.8, which is 1 minus 0.2. Multiply it by what? Because in the United States and most Western countries, your debt, that is, the cost of debt, or interest, which is the interest expense, is tax deductible. In other words, on the surface, your cost of debt is 0.06, 6%, but in reality, your actual cost of debt is only 6% times 0.8, which is 1 minus 0.2. In this problem, the reason is simple, because 20% of the interest expense can be deducted from your debt, so your actual cost. It's better to have a lower cost of debt. Using this calculation, if you have a calculator on hand, it's easy to figure out. The actual result is 0.084, or 8.4%. This is exactly why the weighted average cost of capital is so important. The reason is simple. This serves as a baseline, a benchmark. In companies, when deciding whether to move forward with many projects or simply cut them, this is a very important indicator to look at. It shows how much expected profit a project itself can generate. If it exceeds your 8.4%, then you're creating value. But if it's below 8.4%, then obviously it's a project that's not really useful, because its return is even lower than your debt or your weighted average cost of capital. In that case, it's simply not worth moving forward with such a project, right? So 8.4% actually serves as a baseline. It becomes a fundamental evaluation standard. In reality, many other factors are involved in assessment, such as things mentioned earlier this year. This is a very important golden standard. What else will we discuss in this context? Why is it so important? Because we need to look at enterprise value. Enterprise value is not the same as your stock value. Whether in investment banking or private equity, enterprise value. Whether it's in investment banking or in private equity, we often need to calculate what's called enterprise value. That is, the value of the entire company. In those contexts, we use this concept frequently because we have to account for all the costs. Only by taking the weighted average can we arrive at a truly meaningful company value. Alright, that's all for today. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.